in each music you have an intellectual aspect and a sensual aspect. And even if you play, the great fugue by Beethoven, you cannot really ignore the formal aspect, the motivic. If you play Mahler, for instance, Mahler you cannot ignore. So how the way it is constructed, the way it is organized, the richness of the motives, the way he used the motives, and so on. Good, there is an expression, but an expression which is supported by a strong reflection. And therefore you must balance the thing. Otherwise, you have the risk either to fall in a kind of academism, you look at the structure of things, or to have anecdotic performance, so where you have excitement, and after you don't know where you are, and then another excitement, and so on. So things which are not related together.
Even as Pierre Boulez rose to worldwide fame as an acclaimed conductor of an extremely wide repertoire with the world's most prestigious orchestras and opera houses, he did have his detractors. They complained that his performances, for all their marvellous clarity and precision, could sound clinical and lacking in emotional expression, and most especially in music of composers of the Romantic era of the 19th century. In later years, they grudgingly had to accept that as Boulez aged and matured, a new warmth and flexibility appeared. And they had to concede that some very remarkably subtle and magical performances of great atmosphere were coming from that strangely erect-looking figure and seemingly inexpressive face that presided so unshakably on the podium. In fact, Boulez more and more became a very expressive conductor in his batonless movements, even if his facial expressions continued to give little away. The proof is in the pudding. We end our tribute to this extraordinary artist with the sounds of him conducting music that, at the outset of his career, most people would have thought inconceivable for him to take on board. Even the most die-hard traditional lovers of romantic music and the severest critics were, and are, immensely impressed and moved by Pierre Boulez's performances and recordings of the works of Gustav Mahler.